All right. So let's start the competition. And they should be able to start now. Yeah, so we'll see if there's anyone that's going to be around to watch this game.
I know it's a tough time for a lot of people.
Is anyone that's going to be around? All right. Yeah, it's a lizard off. Lizard on lizard. Yeah, both teams. Jimmy Jam has, I think, more spread out on the SPP, but less specialized Saurus.
His Saurus have been pretty healthy. I mean,
Yeah,
he
they're
hasn't
healthy,
really
but they're all just
lost his
have block, and then there's just one guard
right.
stand for him, minus movement, and then one break tackle. Nothing really else. Doesn't have a good skink killer like Ryzen Mike does with Frost, with the block, break tackle, mighty blow. He's also got 2+ strength skinks, blodge, sidestep skink, and a diving tackle skink.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some skink sacks probably, and blitzes coming through. It'll be curious for me to see if he's able to utilize his Crocs or Gore at all, compared to the break tackle Crocs that Eisenmike has.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't imagine the Crocs are going to be moving around a whole bunch. Especially consider they have got guard, they're probably going to get placed and then get tied up. Especially Jimmy Jams. Let's just see if... I don't think they're done with inducement, but I can check.
Yeah, I'm watching it. They haven't finished yet.
Let's see. No, not yet. The refresh. Nope, nothing.
I don't have much experience in lizard on lizard matches. Have you played many of those yourself?
I don't play that much lizards. I played a little bit, but not very much. I can guess how they'd go. Obviously you have ball carriers of skinks, so if you can eliminate those, you eliminate your offensive potential, but that's the same for any team. Especially considering this is an overtime format, I think keeping the skinks alive is going to be pretty critical for both teams.
The way the playoffs have gone so far, I think if AV9 holds up for one of them, or if it just gets unfairly punished on the other, that could probably be something that tips the scales too. It's really tough when you lose, two Saurus. That's just enough right there to make your defense really suffer.
Eisenmike has one more mighty blow, so that may make a difference. It'll certainly make a difference on skinks if you can get Frost to hit a few, and that's probably where you want to direct most of your focus. Alright, the game has started. Alright, so they're just doing their usual positions. It looks like Eisenmike is kicking. because he's setting up for defense. It looks like Jimmy Jam gets a wizard. Not sure if he had large enough TV difference to get it out of pocket. Maybe. Though we do see a new skill pickup by Eisenmike. Let's turn on the skills. You do see a new skill pickup for Eisenmike. Vasquez has now picked up stand firm, which is an excellent complement to the blotch guard. I know Jimmy Jam, after his first game, acquired break tackle for one of his Saurus.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce the source names on that team.
Yeah, the generic names, which is a shame. Yeah, and also very difficult to pronounce. Yeah, I can't imagine Jimmy Jam got any other inducements other than this wizard.
The only one we wouldn't see it yet, but potentially a Babe if you wanted to pay out of pocket.
Perhaps. So I don't know what was the result of the toss and who chose what. I imagine since there's a wizard, Eisenmike chose to kick if he would have won, but I'm not entirely sure Jimmy Jam would have chose to receive either. Looks like they both get the one on their kickoff roll, but the Sulaco have the fame, which is not a surprise. Hey everyone in chat. Yeah, it looks like the game is just starting, and we get a stun on a Saurus. Hicks. At least he didn't get KO'd on the first block of the game, as he usually does.
Now made famous by Eisenmike's rants.
Yeah. But only one knockdown. It'll actually be... He either needs to hit a blodger, or it's going to be difficult for him to hit a non-blodge Saurus without getting someone marked in for a hit. But the way he pushed, like if he had pushed Hudson to the right, he could have marked much easier and gotten a blitz on him.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's going to go for a blitz on Weezerboski. Hopefully rolling the POW. No. Yeah, Hicks is certainly reliable and consistent. Except in this game, I guess. He hasn't been removed yet.
Plenty of time left for that to be fixed.
Looks like he's going to put it on his plus strength movement 8 one, not the minus movement. And we're just going to see a pretty heavy cage. Skinks are pretty well protected behind this wall of Sorai.
In the mirror match, we're probably not going to see him, get too close to the sideline and try and end around like he would against dwarves or orcs. Being in the middle is going to give him both lanes to kind of run through if he gets a hole.
Yeah. For a sideline cage, you'd want it on your blodge sidestepper. Otherwise, then you might see like a blitz in. Well, the skink would just blitz in. I don't know if you'd use Pharaoh or Crow, but you could. And with the lack of guard on Jimmy Jam, he has one guard, but you'd still probably take a half die to get a surf. If it was a sideline cage. Yeah, but Jimmy Jam, I imagine, is not looking to score until turn 8. Could go for an early score. He does have a wizard. but certainly will not risk anything. Should not risk anything in doing so.
And you're probably not going to get a better fireball. Not that he would use it, but right now, just you could hit 2 skinks, 3 Saurus, and the Crocs.
Yeah. But the threat of the wizard, I think, is a little bit more important.
Oh, absolutely. You definitely
So,
want to save that for
right
the lightning
now, it's
bolt.
not a very clear path, but I imagine if he keeps setting up this cage, there's going to be a time where it's just going to be this cage by itself. Right now, there's a couple Saurus and Skinks screening around it. The Crocs is right next to it. But it's not. He's not going. Jimmy Jam's not going to be able to keep that up and continue moving forward easily if Eisenmike positions properly. Yeah, but we'll see if a Blod stand firm going to keep some Saurus on top of him. They'll need to roll piles to get him off. So lack of tackle.
Yeah, he's
So that
basically
Crocs,
saying,
yeah, that
take
Crocs
2
and
dice and try and get rid of me.
yeah, the Crocs and the Saurus might not be going anywhere for a while. Yeah, put the guards together. It's going to be pretty hard to hit the Crocs and the Vasquez off now. Let's see, if I were to blitz, I guess you'd blitz the most exposed source here, the Lokovica, whatever. And I think that with that mark, he's going to blitz him with Frost right here, or maybe push him down. This is a shorter route. Probably he'll take that so he can then hide Frost behind the screen so that he doesn't need to worry about him going down. Oh, come on. Was that a misclick? No. Was he going for the cage dive?
He wasn't blitzed. I'm not sure if he was just trying to get behind him or what exactly there. I didn't see a path, but I did.
Well, I mean, it's only a 3+ dodge. He could have been going for the half die dive, but I think that's really early in the game to do that. Maybe it was like a misclick and he had clicked there, just seeing what it like. If he could get there, and he accidentally double clicked. Only did 1 dodge. 1 and 9'd it. But Eisenmike's not in a terrible position right now. It looks like he's going to go for the 2-die on Apone with this guy.
That would have been a negative 3 die, so I really can't see.
No, it would have been... Yeah, let's see.
Because none of the Saurus there were marked, so... Plus 3 strength on the ball carrier.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I think that was a misclick.
Yeah.
Okay, so he moves up 1 square, and a little bit to the right.
I can't see them fouling in this match, except maybe if you get a cheeky foul on Pharaoh. Since
He has a spare skink. I guess it depends. You could foul with this loner, I mean the 0 rookie SPP skink. But he's already stunned. You don't gain anything.
You wouldn't take this opportunity, but...
Yeah, you don't gain anything this turn from fouling if you just roll a stun again. And you've only got, what, a 2 assist foul right now if you want to keep your cage?
You could get 3 or 4, and against Stunty, I mean, that's not the worst. But he's already stunned, so yeah, like you said, I still wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I guess so. looks like the Jimmy fans are out in force. They were in force in the first game against Riss. At least in the chat here.
That's right, they were.
I think it'll be an uphill climb for the Pale Scales. Unless I mean, if they get some early removals, they can easily change this game, but I think like the Blodge and the stand. Oh, double skulls on the Crocs. I don't think you re-roll this. The guy has loner. Chance you don't get anything out of it. I think you just. I mean, AV9. You take the hit. Though your ball carrier is some. He does try to re-roll it, and yeah, rolls a 1 on the loner.
He can mark the ball carrier, but I don't see him successfully getting a hit on the ball carrier.
Yeah.
Because he can definitely hit the skink and then blitz the skink in the back, and then he could mark him. But otherwise, I think he's relatively safe.
The only thing that's been, we've only seen one blitz this entire game. That was on turn 1. I don't think Eisenmike blitzed at all, nor did Jimmy Jam. Granted, turnovers kind of stopped both of them, but... Alright, so we're going to see a 3-die on Sazwalt.
No tackle.
Yeah, but it's a 3-die. It is a Blodge sidestepper, but yeah, a 3-die. Decent chance for a POW. But with the way there's a current setup, Jimmy Jam's actually going to be taking a fair number of hits.
Yeah, there's a couple sore shots that he doesn't need the blitz for.
And I just don't see how he can move up immediately.
I would probably try and blitz that break tackle source with Frost if he can get.
It's a bit far. You'd have to GFI for it. Or dodge into the tackle zone for a 3+. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. But I guess you could. 2, 3, 4. Doesn't roll the POW.
There's a knockdown.
You must be ahead of me. If you see a knockdown already, yeah.
I'll try and pause so you catch up.
Well, I mean, it's technically live, but...
Just give it like a 3-second count and see if it gets a sync.
Okay, so he's gonna hit the plus strength skink in the back. Does not get the down, but that's not a bad move at all. Because he gets a source on the ball. The only concern I have is now that the right side is fairly open. And it doesn't take that much to get Drake off. The skink has plus strength, just needs another assist to get a 2-die block. I guess you could move Frost in the way, though.
Yeah. I know he doesn't want to expose him, but I think that he's relatively safe. The Mighty Blow Crocs is on his back somewhere far, far away. So
well, I mean, the Blodge protects him a bit, but...
Yeah.
You don't want your key positionals like Frost ever getting hit, period.
Right. And in order to really hit him, if he does position over there, he's going to have to move both the guard piece and the other blocker there, which is going to tie up some pieces. It's really a solid line in the sand that Eisenmike's drawn here. Those 4 stores.
Yeah, it'll be very hard. It'll be pretty difficult because you need an assist to actually move the source, and you don't. You have one guard here. I guess you get the hit, but it's with the way the skinks are positioned in the back. You need to move Frost to the left if you want to move up that side, and I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable moving up that side because all you could bring are a couple skinks. Maybe the Saurus you blitzed with as well. So I think Jimmy Jam's just going to be pretty content to stay back. Keep the ball secure. You'll notice that Mike actually didn't block with his Crocs there. He had a 2-die on this one source block.
I think he just wants to really make sure he keeps those tackle zones, because that could open up a gateway to the left.
True. Well, we could see a Saurus surf here, depending on whether this source gets pushed. Let's see. Is he gonna go for the surf?
I mean, I would just.
Yeah, he is going for the surf. The only thing is that it's going to be.
Yeah, he went the wrong way with that.
Wait, no, I mean.
Now it's a 1-die, or he has to commit another.
Well, he'll need to commit a skink now. If he went down, he could have kept the source assist. The only thing is you still need to move the ball back. You just have to be very careful on the sideline. Mike wasn't incredibly careful.
I hope he moves his fall carry before he makes the blitz. Oh, I guess he's safe, relatively.
That is a GFI, isn't it? No. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, no KO or injury on the surf though. But that's a source off the pitch.
I think Mike doesn't have too much experience against the strength 3 skinks there, and so that strength bonus really is what allowed that surf play to happen. Without it,
it would have been a lot more difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So the pale scales go back to that cage. Now the skinks are a little bit safer than they were before.
Curious to see what he does with Pharaoh, getting him off the ground.
Yeah, he would preferably not want to do multiple dodges with him. So you'd want to get the Croxicore down, or at least push him in the direction that he can dodge away.
And the way the guard pieces are positioned, he actually can... Oh, no, he can't. It'd still be a 1-die, so he'd have to commit something else for that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you would actually blitz the guard stand firm here. You're not going to get a push. Okay, he's going for the dive again. Going for that aggression. I see what he's trying to do.
Yeah, he wants that chain push.
Yeah. Not that... Yeah, so you can now blitz in with Frost. Well, you could blitz in with Frost if this is a KO. Fortunately, you can't quite get in.
It's a really clever use of Stundy.
Yeah, but I don't think this gained Eisenmike a lot. I think he
No, I
was
agree.
hoping he could blitz in with Frost, but you'd have actually needed to. Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
think
if he
you.
got removed, if there was a KO or an injury there, then you've got your
Yeah, but the
hole.
likelihood of that is low.
Right.
And now you have one of your skinks in a bad spot.
Right. Probably going to be a 3-die. And this one doesn't have block or wrestle, so yeah, there's a pretty good shot that skink gets hit hard.
So blocks the Crocs, gets him down with block. Are we going to see the Crocs do break tackle, dodge away? I don't think you see the dive play here. That would be a 4+ dive. Yeah, but it looks like he is going to try to blitz down this stand for him Saurus. I guess you can use Frost because he can dodge away. It does get him down with the POW. I assume you just move Frost back. Otherwise, this the right wing is wide open, and then maybe you dodge the Croxagore and put him next to the skink, and that would be a lot harder to take down.
Yeah, that's definitely a significant position to take.
Yeah, with break tackle, he can do that with just 2/2+s. You have the bonehead, and then you have the break tackle. Okay, so he puts Crow in a safer position. And we'll see if we see the Crocs do dodge. Maybe he'll just be content to stand him there. I don't know if you're I think the Blodge stand firm is very useful where he's standing, and he can take hits from both the Crocs and the Saurus, and then just keep him on him, and you get that numbers advantage. I guess he's still thinking about it, but we do see the break tackle dodge, but not on the skink. Oh.
I think time just kind of forced him to make a decision.
Waited
there.
too long. I guess it's better. It's better.
Maybe he was worried about a chain push, or because I mean that'd be a lot of pieces in play there if he put it right on the skink. This way, it's kind of canceling out that guard.
I mean, the Crocs could go down. Yeah, so that skink is stunned. I think Eisenmike didn't really think that previous playthrough. Oh, at least it was only a stun. Yeah, so we're going to see a blitz on Frost, maybe to push him aside. I don't think you have enough room, especially if you don't get him down, to move up the pitch. And he recognizes that and just pushes him back, rather than just take that hit and possible surf. Oh, we do see a POW, but the stand firm's going to stand firm. Oh, he's not going to stand firm. I am surprised about that.
Yeah, because normally you'd want that piece to tie up. the
Yeah,
Crocs
I
for
mean,
next
I'd
turn.
want the Crocs on my stand firm piece with guard. Yeah, I don't know what Eisenmike was thinking when he let go of that stand firm. Because now it's just a source on source, and this Blodge guard stand firm is just going to be on a single source. You're not really getting any value. It could be any source.
If anything, he's losing value because the source that he's on.
I think both coaches are playing, although Jimmy Jam's playing really conservative. And it could be a problem for him to get down the pitch, because right now he's just set up so heavily to one side, and so condensed.
Right. He did get the surf, so he does have that numbers advantage, and he might be trying to just, take what hits that Mike gives him, especially since Mike's now twice moved a skink right into the cage. He's got a couple turns still before he really has
and
to
there
move.
the difference is equalized. Except that's a much worse source to lose, because that is the guard stand firm block. And
Doesn't
no
Apo.
Apo, so Jimmy Jam's going on 5 for the rest of the game.
I think I would Apo there just because that's such a key piece with the guard and stand firm. And numbers wise, I mean, this puts him on the back foot for defense for sure.
Yeah, I
But
mean, he does have a spare skink, so it's not like he's losing 11 players. Granted, a skink is certainly not the equivalent of a source. I mean, I kind of understand. It was a minus movement source. Maybe he's thinking a little bit for team protection. Because it was just a badly hurt.
We've seen some huge player losses in the playoffs already just in the first round. So, you don't want to destroy your team for next season, in a playoff where it's already very, very early, only 4 turns in. You want to try and protect your key players from worse injuries. And that really was an injury that was pretty minor, so.
I'm curious where we're going to see the blitz. Maybe it's going to be on the Crocs to free up the skink. Crocs on Crocs blitz. Not sure if I like it that much, but yeah, I certainly don't like Dietrich in the tackle zone of Croxagore that could 3-die him.
He's going for the ball.
Yeah, going on the break tackle. You could push him up and then hit again, and he sees that. So if he can get the knockdown, then he has to force the blitz on the Croxagore. So I think that's a good move. Obviously, if you roll both downs here, it's bad, but so you get effectively nothing. Now he's just debating whether the tackle zone of Weezerbowski is worth it or not. Yeah, decides against it, which is probably the right play.
It is nice getting that tail onto the skink, so
I'm sure the skink is probably going to dodge. 75% chance of dodge. I wouldn't risk the Mighty Blow 3-die here.
No. And basically now Jimmy Jam has to either overcommit Saurus to try and push the Crocs off or take that dodge. But
yeah, the concern here is that now with the way that the Saurus are very condensed. At least Eisenmike's, it's no longer its screen anymore. It's pretty condensed. So maybe, especially if you can get the Crocs down and then Dietrich down, you can shift field over to the left.
Yeah, that's very wide open. And he can probably tie up 3 of Eisenmike's Saurus, just with maybe 1 or 2 of his own Saurus. So that kind of gives him a nice edge.
Yeah, with Frost, you actually want him towards the center. You don't want him guarding the The side here, okay. With the way that this is positioned, the skink will have to actually backtrack around.
I think he's still got the window, and he's leaving the brake tackle one on the Crocs, so he can get that piece out later. He just won't be able to get very far upfield, but he can definitely go left.
Yeah, it's a 3+ dodge though. I don't know. With the like dodging away from the Crocs, it's a 3+ dodge.
Oh right, yeah, brake tackle, yeah.
It's a strength 4. So we see the Crocs blitz, and this is why you take the dodge here, I think. Because it's a 4+ dodge. Fortunately, no armor break. And it's clearly going to be screening off, then moving up here. With Frost where he is, it's going to take him time to catch up.
Waiting for this Crocs to mark Pharaoh.
Doesn't really matter. Because it's
So
still
he activated the blitz there.
Yeah, I don't imagine... I guess you could do it. You don't gain a
he
lot
went
of
to
value by
upgrade,
marking
yeah.
with the Crocs on Pharaoh. It could be anybody. Prehensile Tail does nothing.
True.
And the Crocs is probably in the best position to move up the pitch. So we see another cage. I don't... Unless he puts a skink on that side, yeah, then... And unfortunately, if Frost was in the middle, he could hit that. He could hit the Blodger sidestep skink. But he's over on the right side of the pitch, so... So it looks like he's going to have to put either GFIs on this source, or he's going to have to put a skink in a position that Frost can hit from the back. Oh.
I think you try for the GFIs, but maybe you put the skink in a safer spot first.
No, that skink's getting blitzed. I mean, there's guard, it is plus strength, but...
You can still 2 GFI to get onto Pharaoh and get between that skink, and I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really help, yeah, because, well, there's guard on the Crocs, so yeah, if he forces Frost to come through... Oh, no, he just marked.
He's just going to mark that one. I think we're going to see an early score by Jimmy Jam. He's not in a great position to stall it out unless Eisenmike does an early turnover here and is completely out of position. But if Eisenmike is careful and moves his source in a position to intercept, it'll be tough to defend.
I think the injury definitely, put a little fire under Jimmy Jam's butt and kind of made him feel like he needed to move upfield and get at least points on the board. He may not be able to stall the full 8 turns, but at least get something out of the drive.
Yeah, too bad. Eisenmike's Garter is stuck on this Saurus, where if he wasn't, he could dodge out, put a guard assist on this plus strength skink. Are we going to see a 1 die on this skink? Oh no, it's a 2 die, never mind. Yep, there we go. And with tackle, gets him down, mighty blow.
That was a thing.
Going to casualty him. Not a surprise. So
Yeah, Mighty Blow takes that from
that skink's
knockout
gone.
to an injury.
Now you have to start thinking about whether I want to APO or not. This takes you down to 10 players if you don't APO this. And Jimmy Jams decides not to. So Jimmy Jam looks like he's going to get the early score as the Wizard going into his defensive drive. But it's going to be down players. And Eisenmike's still at his full 11, despite having no bench. So I think now you try to move all of your skinks and source up there. Because right now there's only 4 players in a position to move up and stall in that left corner, and you want to deny that. Or you could... I guess that works too. You keep this source here, and that effectively gives you only 3 players. Well, 2 not including the ball carrier. Yeah. So it looks like only the Crocs and the skink can move, and I'm pretty sure he won't risk this 3+ dodge. Oh, and we see Crow on top of the Blodge skink here. Now,
I mean,
Jimmy Jam's gonna have to roll dice.
Yeah,
He's gonna have to roll dice now. Because there is nobody other than, I guess, his break tackle source here, but he's not really in a position to do anything. Weezerboski. Oh, not Weezerboski, but the guy on top of Weezerboski is in a tackle zone. And he should stand up the Crocs. Or maybe he's thinking of dodging the Crocs. And that's why he was setting up for it. Oh, we do see the dodge on the Crocs. Yeah, I think if you're Jimmy Jam, you just score here. I don't think you can stall another turn. You can hardly even get out. You can get out of the left side. Then you'd actually have to...
There's a lot of threats here.
Yeah, you'd have to dodge and double GFI with what's currently here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's still too... It's not in a good position at all. Okay, so we see a 2-die on Plancoet. And that's going to tie up both of these Saurus. Oh, and KO that one. Yeah, the armor dice certainly favoring Eisenmike here. And I think you even though you have 4 rerolls and 4 turns, I don't think you do this 1 die. I think tying up this Saurus is far more valuable, and the risk of double sculling is too great. You don't really gain anything unless you break armor.
I agree.
So you have 1 player that is completely free, and that is Lily of Swamps. But he really doesn't have the luxury of going anywhere. In order to get... What I would probably think about doing, I guess you could try to go after Crow, but then the Blodge sidestep becomes an issue. He'll probably go...
Not Bonehead, he could mark the Crocs and get a shot at the Crocs and then have a single GFI into the end zone.
That's a... Oh yeah, I mean if you put an assist on... Yeah, if you go around that way. But you need to dodge. You do need the 3+ dodge out of tackle, and then GFI too. I guess... no, you do the 3+ dodge, as opposed to the 1 dying, because you lose a square of movement. And if Jimmy Jam does score here, Eisenmike has 3 turns to score, and he can do it very easily with his skinks. They have that sure feet sprint. You've got your agility 5 that can literally dodge through anything.
And make passes.
Yeah, so Jimmy Jam's probably just trying to see what's the best thing he can do. Probably involves either dodge through tackle or 1 dice. Okay, so he comes around the back. He's trying to get an assist on Frost, I think. But didn't roll a POW. Wait, why did he do that? I don't think that gained him a lot, because now he still has to roll. It didn't free up anybody. Now he's just gonna have to roll with what he has. The skink just got a 2-die block for that. So the best he can do is either dodge or 1-die now.
Yeah, and it's 2 dodges.
Well, I mean, you can dodge anything, but maybe you dodge.
He's got a tackle on him, yeah.
Yeah, you've got this skink, the blodge sidestep thing can dodge 3+ with the auto reroll. So you're probably not really looking at like the auto reroll. Okay, so he goes for the 1-die on Apone, incredibly dangerous, and that allows for a 3+ dodge in tackle. Yeah, but if he was gonna do this from the start, should have just used Kalila Swamp to get the 2-die on Apone. And just a GFI. But he managed to roll out of it.
So we see potentially the Wizard coming into play this half. Not ideal, but I mean, you definitely take it if it's your way of stopping the return score.
Yeah, so we'll see if the KO comes back. The KO does not come back. That's going to severely limit Jimmy Jam's defense here. He's down to 9. Does have a diving tackle skink now, but I don't think the diving tackle skink is going to play a huge role.
No, not at all.
Because Pharaoh can just dodge away on a 3+. At worst. At best, you blitz him with Frost and then remove him. He decides to put the Crocs on the line, as opposed to one of his other Saurus. Not sure how I think about that. Maybe you put the Break Tackle Saurus on the line, because then he could kind of dodge out and away. But yeah, only 2 safety Sauri in the back.
And I envision them getting marked, right out the gate.
Yeah, I imagine you blitz. If you can clear the middle and clear the entire LOS, then Frost can come in and blitz the diving tackle skink fairly easily. I guess it really depends on how you position. But like, let's say if you put him in front of the Crocs. Okay, so he puts him on the wing. Probably gonna blitz 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's so much space in the middle that you don't even need to run around the wing if you want to blitz a skink. And you have 3 turns. You don't need to get someone in scoring position immediately.
Right.
Yeah, but it's clear that Mike is looking towards his right, or if you're looking at Jimmy Jam's perspective, the left side of the pitch to advance. Probably try to get away from that break tackle. But it looks like he's not going to try to hit down the line of scrimmage, rather than try to move players down the pitch. Hopefully that doesn't cost any Saurus injuries. But, I mean, well, if there is a quick snap, Frost he doesn't need to do any GFIs to get this one skink. And with the way that this is currently positioned, a short kick and blitz would be utterly horrific for Mike. I think he's just putting too much. This isn't a 2-turn score here. It's a 3-turn score. And your skinks are very fast. If the ball ends up being incredibly deep, maybe you have to do some kind of handoff.
I
But
think even
your
a
opponent
perfect
doesn't have
defense
kick.
really, yeah, even a perfect defense I think really trips him up. Oh,
Changing weather, but we are in the weather dome, so nothing happened. Kick certainly not favorable for Eyes of Mike here. Very exposed. And you
just
have to
realized he still
protect
says
that
on
ball.
4 rerolls. Mike hasn't had the reroll yet.
Yeah, but yeah, he hasn't rolled that much in general.
It's true.
Well, I mean, he failed the dodge. He failed some rolls, but they were on auto rerolls from like dodges or things.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think we'll actually see Pharaoh pick up this ball, because if Pharaoh does pick it up, he's not really going anywhere.
I mentioned the rerolls because, yeah, it's probably Bishop that picks it up and brings it over to Crow. Crow has catch, so that's going to be an auto reroll. The real, sticky point would be picking up the ball, which is potentially, 1 in 9 to fail with the reroll.
So it looks like we might see a sideline cage with Crow in it. There's going to be a potential scoring threat. The way that the Crocs is positioned there. Crow being sidestep can't be surfed easily either. I just think that this ball is incredibly exposed. Jimmy Jam still has 2 turns, could effectively score if you do turn over here. Right now there's just skinks around the ball.
Yeah, he really only marked one of the source, so
We
on
see
that
the
right
pickup
side,
here. Successful pickup. Is it going to be the handoff to Crow right away? Rolls the 3, that's all he needs. Minor concern for Crow, you're going to need to get this source down. Frost is going to need to get him down, otherwise it's not safe to move up. Well, I mean, at least he doesn't need to come down, he needs a push. Can't roll 1 in 9. Otherwise, might be a gap that opens. But we're going to see a mighty blow hit. But just a stun.
I'm not sure why he followed that. I guess to mark him, in case, because he didn't know the stun was coming, but I probably would have tried to keep Frost further up.
He had extra movement. I don't know why he followed either. He could have not followed and then walked around Weezerbowski and gotten a square up, which I think would be a little bit more valuable. Right now, it's actually not that difficult. Well, if the guard moves there, then there's no way we'll see a blitz on Crow. Because at best, it's a 1 die. And you're going through the prehensile tail. You have 4+ dodge. Or one of the plus strength skinks, which would potentially be surfed if you don't get the down. Oh, we see the sideline fireball. Does remove Vasquez, and it's not a bad fireball. Probably, if you don't get the removal on the skink, if you don't get the hit on the skink here, it's rough. But we'll see where the... Okay, so not terrible for Eyes and Mike. No source is getting in there. Granted, there's no source that could get there anyway. But we could see a 2 die on the ball. Would require multiple dodges to do it. 2 3+ dodges with his plus strength skink. Hopefully rolls a POW, but... chances of that, not incredibly likely.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I probably would have liked the lightning bolt there instead and have a chance of the ball going out of bounds.
Yeah, with the scatter. That's understandable, yeah. I think with the sideline cage, that's one of the things that you have to be concerned about. Yeah, is a lightning bolt. The fireball, I don't see what he gained by also removing some of the cage sides. Other than, yeah, Vasquez got removed, but
Like, if he didn't have sidestep, then sure, you're thinking, okay, maybe I can surf him too if I
yeah,
get
but he has
one of the
sidestep, so you
corners.
can't get the surf. Yeah.
Right. So I just don't. Maybe he just wanted to try and even the numbers, and hope that you get that miracle fireball that injures two people.
And Eisenmike does not need to score next turn. Defending, and Jimmy Jam is going to have to defend against that. Can't just leave one side of the pitch completely open. So we're going to see the 2-die blitz. Goes through Prehensile Tail rather than go through... That's not going to be good for this plus strength skink. Because that is a surf waiting to happen. Can't follow. If you are the plus strength skink. I don't even know if you move down a square, because you could... He's asking for it. That is a surf waiting to happen.
I think he's just playing like it's turn 8.
Yeah, but it's turn 7.
He can put the diving tackle piece out there, but...
So he puts him in the front. Okay, the surf's a little bit more dangerous now, because now you're not going to want to dodge away from that diving tackle, but it's very easy to get that diving tackle off.
It does have sidestep at least, so the diving
Yeah.
tackle, if you're swinging at it, you're not necessarily getting rid of it.
I think you could... The play here might be to actually blitz with Crow off the sidestepper. If you were to play super safe. Or you could try... I don't think... The surf is a little bit... You can still surf. But it's certainly more dangerous now. Because... this break tackle source is over here now. Frost is completely open, so... What you could do... Yeah, but with the sidestep... Yeah, so you could blitz off and hope for a POW. If you don't get the POW, then you have to do 3+ dodge away, which is certainly not favorable. Fortunately, Jimmy Jam did not set up for a score this turn, so if you do turn over, it's not the end of the world. You could still score. It'll be harder. Okay, so he's going to go for the 3-die on the Blodge Stepper. I don't imagine you do it now, because the sidestep could be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe you set up Pharaoh in a position where he can score. Really easy to do. Okay, so he does go for the Blodge Stepper, does roll the POW. And being a skink, he is removed from the pitch. Thanks to Stunny.
Just looking at the numbers, the thought comes into my head of you don't want to give up your scoring threat, but at the same time, if you could surf that plus strength skink, that is really going to put Jimmy Jam in
If you get a considerable casualty, yeah. If it just was if you don't get anything,
right.
Yeah, because he's down 3 players at this point if no KOs come back. Which, if Eisenmike does score here, will put Jimmy Jam in a real tight bind. He lost his wizard, and he'll be down players defending. So I imagine we're going to see this on plus strength. So we're going to see a 3-die on the diving tackle. Oh, another KO. Skinks doing what they do best. Thanks to Stunny.
Very strength skink.
So
Frost does have a movement too, so I would expect him to
I
move
think
up
you
and
could
then
put him.
have
You put him
Frost
in the diving tackle. You put him next to the diving tackle so that he can't continue to sidestep on the ball.
Yep.
And I
And
think
then
you put Pharaoh in a position to score just in case. Like, let's say something goes horribly wrong, and
Right.
the Crocs ends up trip sculling. Then it's not awful. Even if you you still have a scoring threat.
Yeah, Dietrich can also get up and have a scoring threat too.
And Eisenmike, it was last season where different circumstances against my team, but the USS Sulaco, they were in turn 8, all within scoring position. I think he had to roll dice, but it was turn 8, so you're going to have to roll them anyway. It was like a 3+ dodge. And so Eisenmike just figured, hey, he had no rerolls, but I could get a 3 die on a gutter with Mighty Blow. Block. What's the chances of trip sculling? And it happened, so... and it allowed me to score on my turn 8 because I was set up to do so and ended up winning the game 3-0 thanks to it. And I think that'll be pretty fresh in his mind. You can see he did bring Pharaoh in a position to score. So, just need to be careful where you place your ball carrier now. I don't think you could follow, but then the surf is quite real and very easy to get on your Croxagore. So, not following here is probably the right play. Now he's just thinking of where he can safely put Crow. Looks like he kept Pharaoh in the back here. Yeah, and there's no easy 2 die on Crow this time. Granted, let's see, it's okay, that's a 5+ dodge due to Prehensile Tail. So I don't think we'll see the Sora splits onto the ball. Even with Break Tackle. And he has to, with the few players that he still has on the pitch, has to acknowledge Dietrich as a scoring threat.
It'd take a lot, I believe, but I believe you could surf Frost. You'd be giving up the score, but something to consider.
Yeah, you could surf him. You would need to... You need a half die first, right?
Yeah, that's a half die, and then
you do a half die, and then you would
Crocs.
do... Yeah, you could blitz
you...
the Crocs. You could get a 1 die on the Crocs. But with... You push Frost next to Crow. I guess you follow up. You're not giving an assist. You need to then place your other skink. You either blitz... You need to blitz... Either if you don't follow, you can blitz Frost directly and it'll be half die due to guard. But I don't think you can get a 2 die on the Croxagore. Or even a 1 die without doing some kind of dodge.
Well, if Frost gets knocked over, then you're going to get the assist and still be able to surf him.
That is true. Yeah. If you roll double POW on the first block. So he goes for Bishop, only gets a stun. I have no idea how Jimmy Jam is going to deny this score. I just don't see how it's really possible. Like, these skinks are in a terrible spot. They're going to get hit with Mighty Blow. So he's just got to dodge him out. Tackle does its thing. Might as well burn your last reroll. Fail again. And, of course, it only takes 1 assist to knock down this diving tackle. Well, you might as well put that additional assist there. I think... Yeah, you can position in such a way that You can also surf this skink if you want. I think. Yep, you have enough players. So Pharaoh can move into the northern. Well, you'd move Weezerboski into the northern spot. You'd move Pharaoh into the back because he has the most movement. And Weezer. Well, I mean, you have enough players. You can easily get the surf on the skink despite the sidestep. I think that's probably what you go for here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you don't need to do any GFIs. There's no other rolls other than a 3-die block. And unless you like Hexaskull it, you don't need the reroll to do this GFI. You've got Sure Feet. I think you go for the Surf. I don't know if Mighty Blow applies to the Surf, but it's the straight injury roll. You don't need to worry about armor.
I don't believe it does, and he's got a reroll too. So really, 6 dice. If you fail, 6 dice.
If you end up, and you see he's going for the Surf, so you just set up. You could put. I think Dietrich can also get there, and that's what he's gonna do. Probably not gonna score with Pharaoh. Yeah, you don't need to do don't need to do more rolls than you need to. Rolls fine. No Hexaskulls. But
No injury.
yeah, no injury either. And we should just 3 Crow. Crow doesn't even need to roll any dice. He has a straight path to the end zone. We'll see how the KO rolls end up. It could go very badly for Jimmy Jam. Halftime, but halftime is always so short.
I think I'm just a scotch ahead of you, so I'll let you call it.
Okay. So both skinks come back. Down 2 Source still. Why is it Mike's Source does not come back? So I think that puts Jimmy at 9 and Eisenmike at 10 because Eisenmike did not have any spares. So more skinks, but skinks aren't going to be enough to deny a score, I don't think, barring some dives. I think we might end up seeing that.
Yeah, the source numbers on their own are pretty rough, but the fact that your guard stand firm source is out it's just even worse.
So yeah, Eisenmike now setting up for just to hit him down, grind it out, go to turn 8, win the game. Keep the ball, and at the minimum you're going to overtime. There's no reason to risk anything.
And if you're Jimmy Jam, you're looking for just whatever easy, or not even easy, but just any safe kind of blitz that you can get on the ball. You do have your 3 strength guy back, I believe. Yep. So there is not going to be an opportunity somewhere along the way to hopefully mark up the cage and not get hit by guard, and maybe get a 2-die on a ball carrier.
Yeah, it's just a shame that Vasquez was the one KO'd by the fireball. That would have been pretty useful in this drive. By far his best source.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, other than the first couple rounds there where it tied up the Crocs, it really hasn't contributed a whole lot to this game.
Yeah, and that was probably just due to poor positioning.
And that strange choice to not use stand firm.
Is Mike really thinking this one out? Either that or taking a break. Oh, and Hicks leveled up. He was the one who got one of the casualties. That's good for Eisenmike. Just needs Hudson to get a casualty, and we'll have no rookie source.
Feel like he
Another
just
changing
jinxed him.
weather, but Dome does its thing. Crow catches the ball. Not really have gone much better.
Yeah, if you're Ryzen Mike, kickoff events can only hurt you, really. I don't envision too many of them that he needs that can really benefit too much from him.
Yep, so we're just going to be smacking around some source. Gonna be pretty, if you're concerned about dives, it's gonna be pretty important where you place your guard. If only he had 2 guard, he could put guard on the corners of his cage, not really have to worry about a 2-die blitz in to a plus strength skink. But with the Crocs being the only guard, he doesn't really have that luxury.
And Ryzen Mike's Crocs has been really on point. He hasn't rolled too much with him, but he also hasn't boneheaded yet. So if you rely on that for your cage, there's always the chance that you bonehead at the wrong time, and now you've got an open tackle zone.
So double pow on the Blodge sidestepping skink. Frost, so definitely don't want to put your skinks in a position to get hit. But did not get anything. I'm not entirely sure about that follow, but
You can mark him with the second source, but yeah, he's potentially going to get hit back.
I mean, could 2+ dodge out, but you risk a snake eye.
Well, and I don't dislike it from Ryzen Mike either, because in order to get a 2-die block on the Frost here, he's going to have to commit a couple pieces to it, and he's got Blodge, so you're relatively safe. And if you get him to overcommit to that side, that frees up a whole other lane.
I mean, you have a lot of time if you're Eisen Mike. I don't know if you're necessarily looking to score. You're looking at keeping your ball carrier as safe as you can.
Sure.
And spreading out, in this circumstance, probably not what you want to do. A good example would be Trunkhead's game, where played a very, very spread out game, and yeah, Sin and Virtue was able to force Trunkhead to roll dice and get to his ball carrier.
What an ending that game was, too.
Yeah, I think if you're Eisen Mike, you cage up, you grind down, and you make it incredibly difficult to get to your ball carrier. Right now, you've got the numbers advantage, and you have the ball, so. Force Jimmy Jam to engage you. If he doesn't, then you can just stall out until whenever and score on turn 8, or at worst, go to overtime. I think he should secure the ball right now before blocking with Hicks. Yeah, with the wizard gone, you don't need to worry about a super tight cage anymore. So that fireball is no longer going to be a threat. Keep it like that. Don't know if you want to activate. Yeah, and that's why you do that first. Could re-roll it. Your skink's going to take a hit, and I think that's probably why you do. Do have to be a little bit concerned about overtime, but right now I think Eisen Mike is fairly confident in his ability to score. So I don't even think he's going to activate the Croxagore right now. I think the guard there is very, very well positioned. The only way to get a 2-die blitz on Crow is to go from the back, and that's just too far for any of the skinks to do.
Yeah, you'd have to, not only that, but mark the skeets too in the back.
There's our first bonehead of the game. but Frost is going to get hit around a bit. Be a 2-die on Bishop. And there goes the casualty. No long-term effect. I don't think you APO this. And for overtime purposes, you'd be down to 9 players. But if you end up scoring this turn, you should not need to worry about that. And maybe, who knows, with overtime, you'll get 2 chances for Vasquez to come back. And there's a good chance that he could just come back. So maybe this is what Eisenmike was thinking about when he followed. Maybe he thought that he would just stand up the skink and dodge would do its thing and he gets another hit. Maybe that's what Eisenmike was thinking when he originally dodged. But if I was Jimmy Jam, maybe I put a Saurus there instead of a skink. And then I would try to push Frost away. Maybe blitz Frost away from the skink. Because now, Lodge Sidesteppers is just going to get hit again. 1 assist isn't enough to stop the 2-die. And tackle does its thing. Fortunately, this time he stays on the pitch.
Yeah, only a stun. It would have been really, really rough if he got removed from the pitch.
I would like a blitz on another skink, just because it's much easier to remove. Right now, you need to get down one of these 2 Saurus at least. And then there's also this break tackle Saurus, which is somewhat of a threat. But yeah, he's just going to go for the blitz on with the guy in front of the cage. Probably push him to the side. I don't know if he's going to chain and then do another block, or if he's just going to push him up to free the Saurus. Okay, so we're going to see the chain here. Imagine we're going to see Drake maybe come down, provide that assist for Hudson.
Yeah, you can tell Mike's really thinking about where he wants his cage to be and, you know, how the skinks are going to kind of come around, you know, where that 3-strength skink is at all times. Because he's really hesitating to kind of pull the trigger on anything.
So is it going to be a sideline cage again? Guess it keeps the block source tied up, but you're also taking that hit too. Mike is going to have to decide relatively quickly here. Otherwise, he's going to run out of time. Yep, so we're going to see the sideline cage. It's going to go right next to the Crocs behind it. So even if you do get inside here on the 3+ dodge in, you're only going to get a 1-die at best with the plus strength skink.
Curious if he brings over a 3rd defender, because that could
he will.
potentially set yourself up.
He probably will. I don't know if you put it next to it. Yep. Guess he does.
Because see, not that you would, but if you were desperate, you could try and surf the ball
There's a
carrier
potential
and
surf play, yeah. You
turn
would,
the pushes into success.
yeah, right now, if you wanted to do that, yeah, you could do that.
It's like
It would be a 3+ dodge. You would need to get, you'd probably need to get, okay,
3
now
plus
that
4
makes
dodge?
that much more difficult. Well, you have to do 2 more dodge. You have to do 1 more dodge, I guess. 1 more 3+ dodge. So you need to cancel out the assist of Drake. Obviously, the plus strength skink comes in from the bottom. Yeah, now you need to do 2 3+ dodges to get in there. Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably the best play you have.
Well, if you're looking to turn the tables, yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a better opportunity. So what you see here, I don't. Skink goes where? So I guess the Oatmats. Odelmats?
Yeah, your diving tackle.
Yeah, he goes in the back. And the plus strength goes in the front. I assume the Lily of Swamps goes in to cancel out the assist of Drake. So that it's a 1 die. And you can get the surf that way.
It's a lot of dice.
Yep. Certainly is. Might as well get your blocks out of the way first. Easy ones. Yep. Your non-block source doing the marking, which is actually good positioning by as in like this time.
Definitely. And no breaks, so they'll just stand right back up and mark, 4 more players again.
We'll see if he does decide to go for a surf here.
I mean, I guess the alternative is that you don't go for the surf and you just try and get a POW, but that's, to me...
You're not getting hit. You're not really getting a good hit on a skink. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No. Looks like we're just gonna see a hit on Pharaoh. I don't know why that assist is there though. Is he not? Is he? If he's gonna blitz him, he already has a 2 die. He needs to bring another to get the 3. So are we gonna see that with Dietrich? Looks like it. Or not. Okay. So maybe he's just marking Pharaoh for some reason?
Diving tackle.
3+ dodge. It's like literally the worst thing you could mark. And if you do the blitz here on Pharaoh, he will just sidestep away. What you if you wanted to do it differently, you would have actually blitzed with your diving tackle. So that he could then move on to Pharaoh again. Because this is a 2 die. It's a plus strength. You already had 2 dice.
He's thinking about the both down here just on the off chance that Niggle does a thing.
He does go for it. And it ends up biting him in the ass. Pharaoh's armor holds up. Niggle does not do anything. And that skink's not returning in the game.
Or the next one.
Pharaoh gets casualtied as well. But badly hurt. I think you can live without Pharaoh for the rest of this game. Especially with the way... Oh, he does reroll it. Just in case overtime happens, he wants Pharaoh to be there. Ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay.
That's gutsy, both down.
Yeah, and it ended up hurting Jimmy Jam, I think. I think he was in a much greater position to lose.
I mean...
if you're looking at the numbers game, yeah, it's more likely to...
TV-wise, it helped, but man, that's rough.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Jam losing players is far worse than Eisenmike losing players at this circumstance. Okay, so the Crocs
Well,
does bonehead, but now you don't really need to worry about that 2-die blitz in. You don't need that guard anymore.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
just 3 skinks on the field. I guess the serve play is still there. If the one that's on the ground now marks Drake, and then
I think we're
Callie
gonna
of the
see either.
Swamps goes
I think we might see Frost just dodge out and hit a skink, because I think Jammy Jam gets all the skinks out, even if this game goes to overtime, and Jammy Jam does get the ball. I wouldn't really count on him being able to pick it up easily. And you're more likely to get removals that way. Just 1 assist, get the 3-die. With that, if you would hit the normal skink here if you were thinking about it. Well, this assist... Oh no, Pharaoh is going to dodge around. I think this is a GFI. Yep, GFI does roll the POW. On the diving tackle sidestep. Just stun. But that's fine. Yeah, and I think the surf play is... I guess it's still possible. It's just a lot harder. Because now you need to do GFIs in addition to the dodge. And you'd only be getting a 1-die at best. Again. Despite the bonehead.
Yeah, I think with that both down, I mean, that kind of reveals Jimmy's thought process here is he's just trying to even the numbers out.
I think that's more of
he
a,
doesn't-
like, just like a chance. He's thinking, that's a risk you take if you feel like the game is slipping, I think.
Right.
There's no reason to take that risk unless you feel like you're gonna lose. And I guess that's a relatively fair assessment. Right now, Jimmy Jam's gonna be very hard pressed to stop this stall. Can free up. He could free up his Crocs. He could free up 2 Saurus up here, assuming that, yeah, as long as he gets pushes. Break tackle can just dodge away. Trying to think of... hopefully he sees Weezerbowski there behind the Crocs. Somewhat obscured. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. No easy pass to hit the ball carrier. Best he could do is probably a 1-die with one of his skinks. Or...
Yeah, he can mark both the Saurus with 1 skink, and then he's got his own Saurus there too to...
I guess he could get a 2-die if he was ridiculously desperate. What you would do... Actually, it's not that bad. You would dodge Khalil of Swamp. No. Yeah, you'd want the Blodge Sidestepper on the sideline because he'd be less likely to be surfed.
Oh, and put him in the corner of...
Yeah, you'd put him in the corner to get the assist, cancel out the
Use the
assists of the
Saurus to mark.
Saurus, and then you get a 2-die on the ball.
Yeah.
But that's if you're like really desperate at this point, want to get the ball. There's still time. You can force the score early, you can still go to overtime. Granted, the numbers are not in your favor. And you're likely to lose more skinks as this game continues.
Well, and it's just like I was thinking with that, really desperate attempt at trying to surf him. You have to pull the trigger at some point. The longer you wait, it seems like the worse the position's getting for you because you just keep getting more and more pieces removed. So you have to kind of start looking at plays like that.
Yeah. Eisenmike has his dedicated killer Frost, who's been very effective at removing Saurus. I mean, not Saurus, but skinks. I think he's removed like 1 Saurus.
Yeah, Mighty Blow's definitely been doing work.
Not sure what we're seeing here. So the Crocs and the Break Tackle Source are free. So they're going to start moving down. I think we have relatively equal numbers for both teams. So they're both down 3 at this point.
I'd probably move the Crocs first just to see if it boneheads and if that changes my plan at all.
Yeah, you could blitz with your Crocs too, I guess. I imagine you might go for the blitz on Dietrich.
I mean, marking both those, I think he might be going for it.
Because he hasn't done... Okay, so he's gone for the double mark, but... Right now, the best he can do is a 1-die. No. Yep, so we're going to see a blitz on Dietrich. Trying to get that skink removal. Does get the bolt down. Yep, the one short. Mighty Blow would have made the difference there. Yeah, if Apone can move, this is not a very bad turn. This won't be a bad turn for Eisenmike. That guard is going to make a pretty considerable difference. So he does have a 2-die on this Saurus.
If you're Jimmy, you're really just trying to stall for next turn because you actually get an extra source and your diving tackle skink back.
Eisenmike is in a relatively threatened position, though. He might want to score early.
And he put himself here, to be fair. He didn't really have to move up this far, but...
He can move back if he pushes his source, which probably is not a terrible idea. Okay, so he pushed with Frost, which means there could be a potential surf here. Depends on how gutsy you feel with a Croxagore Blitz. Okay,
Yeah.
no surf.
And that doesn't really surprise me.
My guess he's just debating whether he wants to score now, and if he's going to score now, he's going to blitz this rookie skink here and move down into the end zone. I guess that's what he's debating at this point.
I mean, your worst case scenario, if you're Mike, is that his knocked out source comes back and yours doesn't.
Yeah. You're still at equal player advantage.
Right.
So we see guard go there. Now everyone's done their blocks already. Could get a 2-die on the Crocs with Weezerbowski, thanks to guard. Then you get a 2-die on Gore, assuming that you don't follow. And all they're left are skinks. I think that's what he's thinking. Oh no, he's gonna go for the skink block. That was an interesting direction to push him. Okay, yeah, he pushed him in the right spot. He's going to score. Does have the option to do one block, source block, if he wants to. He's really thinking of whether he wants to score or not. I think with the break tackle source there, you don't really have a choice. So go for this source block. If you get something, you get something. And just go score. Yeah, you could move right, and you don't really need to worry about any of these Saurus or Croxagore. But the Skinks are quite open, could 2-die blitz you.
Funny enough, Jimmy's actually now winning the rerolls. And if this does go to overtime, that could come into play.
Yeah, especially if they end up having no Skinks at all, then we go to penalty kicks. Oh, so, yep, we see the score. Just takes the long way around. Alright, I think that was Jimmy Jan's Saurus, and now it's going to be whether... And we don't see Eisenmike's Saurus come back, so... Jimmy Jam has an abundance of Saurai, but... I think the numbers are actually equal on Saurus, and
Yeah, never, I think
I
even
think
all
the
around.
numbers are exactly the same, yeah. Like, they both have 3 Skinks, and 5 Saurus and a Crocs.
The rough part is that he just lost both of his strength 3.
Yeah, he lost
Skinks.
both of his good Skinks, so at least a couple of his good ones. Yeah, Eisenmike still has his 2 super Skinks, so... And clearly going to protect them. Certainly good move.
No Appos left for either team, so the damage counts at this point.
Looks like he's going to be setting up along the right side, trying to get something down the pitch. Well, there is still a lot of time, 5 turns left, for the Pale Scales to get in the end zone. So he foregoes the blocking. He's not going to get that many hits here. Going to dodge with his break tackle away. Might not even mark any of the LOS Saurus. Okay, so he marked the Crocs. But if we see a blitz, this could be very dangerous. Because that source on Hicks is free on the LOS, so could end up blitzing.
There really hasn't been any shortage of those either this playoffs.
Okay, so he does go for the mark on Hicks. Or maybe switching the side of the pitch they want to go on just because the blodger's on that side. Time I think Hudson is able to move now. It's a high kick, so he'll have a chance to catch it. 50-50. Rolls a 3.
Normally, it's nice to use your big guys last because you don't want them to screw up. But if you're not going to be blitzing with them, I probably would move my Crocs first just to see if he boneheads, because that really can determine how you want to position along the sideline if he's going to try and block
Bonehead
off.
like
And so
that,
there you
yeah.
go. Yep. So now you know that that's not going to really be an effective piece, and you're going to have to change your plans a little bit.
He's actually debating whether he wants to re-roll it or not. Or is the timer going for you and I'm just slow?
No, he's moved
He's
on.
thinking about it. Or something else happened, because this timer is going on pretty long.
Yeah, I've got him moving pieces.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no reroll. I think he was going to use him as an assist for blitzing one of the source, but that didn't happen. Does get the 2-die on Drake. Armor 9 doing its thing.
Do you think he's going to do the handoff play the way he's positioned there?
Have to pick up the ball first. And there's only going to be one skink down the pitch pretty far, because both skinks are really far back. They're not going to be able to get up in a scoring position. Maybe Jimmy Jams. Yeah, it's just going for the early score?
That's what I mean. I'd almost be worried that you're going to score too fast, because Eisenmike can move. He already did it once. So if you score next turn, that still gives Mike 3.
I'm surprised he went for the 1-die over the pickup first. He sets up in a position to hand off. And he's gonna hand off because that Proxagore is not providing any tackle zones. 2 and a 2. So Prox can't catch the ball, so it just bounces right off of him. And Jimmy Jam's in a terrible spot. Frost can easily blitz that blotch sidestepper off. Pharaoh can come around, pick up the ball.
I really would have moved that other skink up first.
Yeah, I don't think there was a reason to do the handoff this turn. It's not... The only threats you have to worry about are the skinks. The source is a bit far back. You can stay at somewhere in your end.
I think he just ended up being short a player because of that Crocs.
Yeah.
Because
If that Crocs
was
actually...
Source.
Yeah, if the Crocs actually was activated, this wouldn't be so awful. But now it's very easy to blitz. You could blitz the skink off the ball, but Pharaoh's still going to pick up on a 2+ regardless of what happens. But Frost can now hit skink free. So he goes on Crocs to tie him up. Crocs is not giving any tackle zones at this point, so it's still a 2-die blitz. You don't need to take off the skink assist because strength 4 versus strength 2.
Yeah, Pharaoh can get in, get out, hand it off, or even a short pass, and now the right side of the field is completely wide open.
Yeah, I guess you could come in, pick it back up. Yeah, what you could do, I guess, is dodge in, pick it up, go back with Crow. Okay, he's not... Crow, I guess, maybe he's just going to hand it off to Crow over there. I think that's probably what he's going to end up doing. He's going to pick it up and then hand it off to Crow on the way down.
Yeah,
but this might have just cost... Yeah, this might just have cost Jimmy Jam the game.
Right, because Mike doesn't even need to score. I mean, he just needs to stall. But
hitting skinks is an excellent way to doing that. Okay, so he's just going for the pickup straight out. Rolls a 1. Just needs to roll a not 1. Dodges away. I think you do the GFIs and hand off. Because you just burned your reroll. Do a GFI.
Pass. He's gonna pass.
Oh, come on. That was a mistake. I think.
Yeah, sure feet would have been better there.
Yeah.
The
now
bright
you-
side to passing is
yeah.
the failure here still does mark the ball.
Yeah, you give Jimmy Jam an out. And he should have blitzed. I think maybe he was concerned that the blodge sidestepper would blitz into a worse spot.
Right, if he scattered or positioned somewhere, two spots below the Crocs. Now you're in between.
Yeah, I think Eisenmike was thinking just too much on the play that, if it worked, would have been so great. But if it didn't work, you end up like this. And
Yeah, I mean he's got sort of the.
yeah, and Frost didn't end up moving or hitting a skink. If you'd
your
done
blood
damage
source is out of
there,
play too.
then maybe if going into overtime he has even less skinks.
Mhm.
Opts for the 2 die on Pharaoh, not going for a 3. Gets 2 pushes. Rerolls it into double push again. Imagine you just stay on the ball. Force a 4+ pickup. And slow the advance of any skink trying to get the ball. But Pharaoh's in a scoring position, so you have really no choice but to pick it up. If you're Jimmy Jam, I think. Might try to see just it'd be a 4+ pickup. And then maybe a handoff to this rookie skink. And then just potato him upfield. But then there's Frost. You can move him up the left side of the pitch. And he's probably pretty safe because Frost would need to go around these Saurus.
Yeah, I might throw an activate roll just on the Crocs to see if I can get him back. Because if you fail the pickup, that would
Yeah,
help
then
out
Drake
the
can
Crocs
move.
there.
Yeah. You don't need to block with him.
I definitely would not risk the block. You've already blown your reroll.
Okay, so he does the block, gets pushes. Fair enough. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the
Handoff
4+ pickup, yeah, and maybe the handoff. I mean, yeah, with Crow and Hudson being there, I mean, Crow is somewhere around there. And Pharaoh could come and dodge out and mark this diving tackle skink, and you could get a 2 die with Crow, who is block. So, relatively easy on 4 dice. No, I guess. Okay, so we see the 4+ pickup. Now, he either dodges through these tackle zones to get to the ball. The 1, 2, 3 dodges. Then you'd have to do GFI for the handoff. Oh no, you dodge the other way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he hands off to
Oof.
the blodge sidestepper. Fails that. And we're back in a very similar place. At least now there's a diving tackle on the ball and they're both sidestep. So I can't imagine that ball's going anywhere from there. I think if you're just Eisenmike, you go for skink damage. Keep Pharaoh alive.
I think you still gotta put pressure on the ball.
Oh no, I mean Crow can put pressure on the ball, but you wouldn't put Pharaoh in that position. Crow's got the blodge sidestep.
Well, because he already did the 4+ pickup and got it. I mean, I would be worried about him doing that again. And this time pulling the play off and getting downfield. So I think you blitz
With the diving tackle?
alley of the swamp. And then try and get more over there.
Yeah. did free up the Crocs. Yeah, but with where he pushed the source, he can't blitz on
Yeah, I
Galila
don't like
Swamps
that push
now.
there.
Yeah. So, at least not with Frost. You'd have to go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And either do a GFI. Yeah, you'd have to do a GFI. Did have the option. No, he didn't have the option of the bolt down, but he could have pushed him in a different direction. Or, well, let me think. Maybe he had to push him in that direction, but he should have changed the order. Yeah, not enough skink hits. Because in a prolonged match, I think that's what's going to decide the game. Is the person who can't score will not have a great chance of winning. Are we going to see a blitz on the lock of Itza? Maybe that the Blodge is just moving there. We do see Apo and Bonehead though.
I was gonna say maybe that blitz is gonna go towards the Crocs, but because then you're cutting off that side of the field.
Yeah, but it's just a 1 die right now. Okay, so he goes for the GFI 2 die. Could have positioned better, but does get the casualty, which is going to be big for overtime. If it does come down to that. It also is, that was the skink who could easily get in scoring position.
Yeah, now I'd say it's 2 turns to score for sure, or 3 turns even maybe.
Yeah, there's 3 turns left. I mean, they still have enough time, but I think he dodged Pharaoh out. Pharaoh's going down. Diving tackle does its thing.
He was going for the ball.
Yeah. It was a 3+ and rolled a 1 and a 2. Or a 2 and a 2. It says there's like 3 dodgers there when there are clearly only 1 and a 2. Yeah.
This doesn't look great for Mike.
Yeah, I think, he's just been so focused on, oh, if I score once again, I win the game. And you don't need to score again. You just need to stop a score. And so there's movements that you can do that could make it difficult for him to go upfield, and he just has not done it. And right now, it is quite difficult to stop the score. That skink is in scoring position. Unless the Crocs boneheads, then... And even if the Crocs does bonehead, I don't think you can get a clean hit on the ball carrier. So he's going to free up his Croxagore. Maybe have his Croxagore... Well...
Touch him.
Yeah. I don't think he's in a bad spot.
I don't think he gains much by moving, and I think the risk of a bonehead again would be devastating. Yeah, he doesn't.
Alright. Yeah, but now Eisenmike has to stop the score.
He can get a blitz on that other skink, but I don't see him getting to the ball carrier this turn.
No. Maybe we see... He can't even get enough players up in front to do a thin screen, so... You get one skink up there.
He needs to move his Crocs first to see if he can get, anything between the goal line and the ball. And he's got break tackle, so he can make that corner.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, you could do a GFI on this on the source on the right side of the ball carrier. And then get prehensile tail on, but you need to do a GFI. It's fairly important. Okay, so that skink could very easily get surfed. With that play, I think he's gonna blitz the Crocs. Because he needs to get someone so that skink's not easily surfed. Put him in front of that skink. Or maybe you blitz... Well, oh dear.
Yeah, it's kind of bait too. I mean,
Yeah, because what you could do is you could blitz with Frost. Alright.
oh, no.
He boneheads. Did he burn the blitz there?
He did not. That's good. But yeah, I think he was just trying to
Are you
cross that
I mean, you
corner.
don't... yeah, okay, he didn't. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a Pharaoh blitz. I mean, not Pharaoh. Frost blitz.
Frost, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be on the back skink.
Yep.
There is a slight danger to following, because that could mean Frost could get surfed.
Yeah. But if he does that, then he's not blitzing the Dietrich and following that into a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, he'll have to
Doesn't
do a
make
3+
score.
dodge. And
That
then
that
two
bonehead right there
GFIs.
actually allows him to stall one more turn. Because there's really no one else that can stop him if he stops at the goal line.
Yeah, get up Pharaoh. Move Crow up in a position, because you don't need to score. You just need to stop. Oh, are we going to see the blitz then?
I didn't see that blitz get activated.
What the heck? Oh, he was going... What? Oh, come on, Eisenmike. That was just way too risky. It's a 5+ dodge. What? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what Eisenmike is seeing, but he is just so desperate. For no reason.
He had to have forgotten about diving tackle.
Yeah. Because that was going to make that dodge ridiculously hard. Yeah, it was a 6+ dodge he had to do. Yeah, and now Jimmy Jam has a very easy chance of scoring.
It's just a stall. I mean, he doesn't even have to score this turn.
No, I mean, yeah, he doesn't need to score this turn, but... And now Eisenmike is down a skink. Should have just focused on getting someone on the ball, forcing him to roll dice. But Eisenmike has just been way too aggressive. For no reason. Diving tackle has bitten him twice. And it's been just completely avoidable. No reason to test it. And that might cost him the game going into overtime. Because rather than go for skink damage, and if in the overtime you get rid of... Maybe he only has one skink left. Well, you're certainly not going to see like a handoff to a source unless he's truly desperate. Yep, I think you just go for skink damage now. Go for Oatmatzel. Go do a GFI again. But yeah, don't dodge into that. Yeah, it looks like we're going into OT. I think this was very preventable by Eisenmike. Easily.
If he knocks the ball carrier over there with Frost, and he does manage to make that 6+ dodge,
Yeah.
I don't even think that secures the game because there's a second skink right there that can just scoop it up and move further up. He really needed to position further back in the 3 turns that he was playing around with Pharaoh and the ball.
Yeah, he kept
He just
trying to
didn't
just
get
go
anything
for a
back there.
pickup, try to go for, and like, oh, I can score if I can pick up the ball and do this, but failed those. And they were not easy rolls.
And he only tried to move his Crocs back really 1 turn, and I think he had 3 or 4 turns where he could have done something else with that Crocs.
Okay, so see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could get Weezer on the ball with 2 GF5s. Force a roll, I guess, from Jimmy Jam. The only thing is, if you do that, then you're not getting this blitz on Otamatsu if you don't get the knockdown. So you probably go for that first. Try to get rid of the skink. Then you'd use the double GFI with Weezer because if Jimmy Jam will have to roll a block out of it, and if that block is both downs or skulls, could put him in a bad spot. You at least burn his last reroll going to overtime. Okay, so he goes for this. So we're not going to see a blitz on the skink, because that effectively stops that. Unless it's going to be with Weezer but I think you do the GFI with Frost to get that. Is he going to do it? He might be doing a 5+ dodge here. Yep.
He is.
I think, yeah. Why? Why risk it?
Oh, no.
Why? Eisenmike is throwing the game. He's just been so focused on trying risky plays to end it. And now he's actually at a significant disadvantage.
Yeah. If this KO doesn't come back...
If he had played conservative,
I really
gone
like
for removals, even if they had gone to overtime, maybe he removes a skink, but I don't think... Yeah. That skink that got surfed, I think that was not a particularly good play. Because Jimmy Jam hasn't had to roll that many difficult dice. At least Vasquez comes back, but he's down. They're going to be at equal source levels thanks to that dodge. Let's see who wins the toss. If it's Jimmy Jam, Eisenmike. Yep, Jimmy Jam won the toss. And with those removals, it is going to be pretty difficult to defend for Eisenmike. If he had had those extra source and extra skink, it would be a lot easier because he'd have the man advantage, but he doesn't have it anymore.
I will say that even though everybody assumes the advantage goes to the receiving team in overtime, this playoff season, everyone that's kicked, I believe so far, has ended up winning overtime, or at least 2 of the 3.
Well, Gerber lost because he had no players left on the bench.
Right. And Trunkhead. Just
Trunkhead
lost, but he received.
He did receive.
And there was one more that I think it was a Necro game.
Yeah, Trunkhead ended up just rolling way too many dice when he received, and eventually it bit him. And when you're going no reroll, yeah, you have to play very conservative, especially when you have the ball, because if you turn over on the ball carrier like he did, it is horrific against elves, and that's what happened.
Yep.
It would have been better to turn over with somebody but the ball carrier, and then the opponent has to blitz and doesn't have the reroll, so he'd have to roll the POW on the knockdown or bolt down, depending on whether it was a blitzer or not. But now I just think I think Eisenmike is at a significant disadvantage here. Because he's down to 4 source, 5 source. Okay, so they're at the same number of source, same number of skinks. It's the same player number, but Jimmy Jam's going to get the first set of blocks.
Doesn't look like he's setting up to do that though. Or I guess he did.
No.
It's
He
Mike's
hasn't
turn.
even
Yeah.
had a chance
Yeah,
to
that's
decide
right.
yet. So. Yeah, I think Eisenmike just needed to play a little bit cautious. If there was someone in scoring position in the previous half, then maybe you go for him, try to make it so he has to roll out of it. But rather than forcing Jimmy Jam to roll out of it, he tried to roll the dice. Relatively risky dice. And sometimes probably not the best play. And I don't know if it's because the game has dragged on so long. But I think it was just that Eisenmike wanted to end the game early, and it didn't happen.
And to recap for those that are arriving late, injury-wise, Jimmy is down his stand firm guard.
Yeah, that happened relatively
Forrest.
early in the game, and he
And then
chose
he's
not
down
to apo it.
both of his plus strength skinks, and then just a rookie skink. And then Eisenmike is down his 2 rookie skinks and a Blodgesaurus that we just saw at the end of the play.
Yeah, with the 5+ dodge fail. I mean, it's unlikely that you break armor on failing that dodge, but I just don't see a huge upside in taking it. I think the skink who had the ball at that time was Blodge sidestep, so
It was.
yeah, you're not getting a surf.
He wasn't even going for the surf. I believe he was just going for the 2-die for a chance to pow. And even then, he could still pick it up and score. He was close enough to where even with the lower movement from being knocked down, unless he got removed, he was going to score.
Yep, so Eisenmike really hoping for a blitz here. Changing weather, short kick. Does it scatter? Nope, it goes in the Croxagor's hands.
Crocs TD for the win.
Yeah, at
Let's
least
see
this
it.
Crocs does not have break tackle, but it's going to be very difficult to get that ball off that Crocs now. So he's going to have to blitz a Saurus off that Crocs. I am surprised he did not follow there. Basically says he's going to move the Crocs. Get a stun on break. And we should see a blitz on Hicks by one of the Bloxsaurus. Because he needs to free up the Croxagor.
Bonehead would just be so brutal right now.
Even if you do get a Bonehead, like the worst thing that could happen is you 1-die. He gets 1-died. With block.
I guess the Saurus are in the right spot to stop that. And he doesn't Bonehead, so he's fine.
So, looks like we're going to see cage around the Crocs. You have to acknowledge the Skinks can score, and I think you still target those. But honestly, if you're Eisenmike, unless that Crocs is relatively open, you stop it from moving forward, and I think you have to play for penalty kicks. Which, with the way that the second half was going originally, it was pretty hard to believe that Eisenmike would have to resort to doing that.
Well, the Skinks are too far back right now for him to blitz those, so I think you have to just.
Well, he's
pick out a
gonna
corner.
move. I imagine either I guess he could keep him behind. They're gonna move up the left side, okay,
Yeah,
behind
on
that
the left.
Saurus.
Keep away from him.
Yeah,
You
because
gotta
that
know
Crocs
Cross
can
is
just do a
coming for you.
handoff to a skink and score, depending on what happens.
Can Frost hit that?
You can hit that
no, I
skink
guess
with
it'd
2
be
GFIs
two GFIs,
and
yeah.
a 3+ dodge. And I don't think that's worth it.
Well, since he didn't put the skink next to the Crocs, and the Crocs would then have to move for a handoff, I think you try, because he doesn't have break tackle, so I think you try and mark the Crocs.
Yeah, you can
throw
try
some
to mark
blocks.
the Crocs. You can use Vasquez to, well, you can use Vasquez to do that. And if you do that, the ball's not going anywhere if he doesn't get a POW.
It's actually great use of Vasquez.
So I think that's probably the approach you take. What he should have done, Jimmy Jam, was put a skink on the bottom left side of the cage so he could do a handoff.
Mhm. Yep.
But
Didn't even have to be a part of the cage. I mean, he could
Yeah.
have been in the position just directly below the Crocs, too.
so now we'll see if just don't follow. Okay, he does see. You're like, yeah, you definitely want Vasquez on the ball here. So that Jimmy Jam will have to roll that 2-die POW if he wants to really go anywhere. Yeah. That's okay, I guess.
There's
No, that is
Vasquez.
not okay. That's not
I don't
okay.
like that.
Yeah, he could just chain push the Crocs now. Why? Why did you do that? What he can do is he could blitz with the break tackle source, and well, I mean, it is a blodger, but okay, that Crocs does not do anything.
Those boneheads on the pone. Oh, man, that's like his fourth since I called it. I said at halftime that they've been rolling well, and man, they are not. They're not doing well anymore.
Yeah. So what you do is you blitz the Frost into the Crocs, push him off the stand firm, and then you can push Frost away with the chain push. Okay, he made that a lot more difficult now. Yeah, he
I think
saw
he
that. Saw that. Okay.
After you crash enough cages, you kind of learn not to overfill the gaps.
Yeah, he made it
And
so now that it's not that easy now. Yeah, you can push Frost off. Yeah.
he does have guard on the Crocs, which is going to make all this 2 dice. But
I mean, he can easily hit Frost off. He just needs to cancel out the assist of Hicks, and it's a 2-die because the ball carrier has guard. So
now the question is there anything you can do to, punish these skinks on Jimmy's team? And I don't think there is at this turn. Like at this point, there's nothing. Basically, he's just going to move one of those skinks right next to the ball carrier and hand off next turn.
yeah, I imagine so. You'd set up for that. Because Frost is now not in a position where he can route around and blitz them.
Yeah.
Maybe you go for the half die if you're Eisenmike on the ball carrier.
Well, the way he's been playing, I would assume that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Right now, he can get a 1-die. Thanks to guard. And that probably wouldn't be terrible. The thing is Frost is just way out of the play now. So clearly Eisenmike is not looking to take the ball back. Goes for the push, gets Frost off with a Bender Stumble. But now he needs to get off Vasquez, and he needs to roll a POW to do it. And if he rolls a POW, Eisenmike is in a really, really, really bad spot.
Currently, that's only 1 die as well, because he's going to have to move up his other block source, which is going to leave a pretty wide open lane here. So he's going to have to commit basically everything into the scrum. And if the Crocs finally activates and gets another guard piece in there, that's going to be a really tight ball. And then it's just going to be a potatoing skink.
Yeah, but yeah. And as long as Vasquez is there, I think what Frost does is he just cleans up the skinks, keeps them off the Croxagore, and you just hope that Vasquez can just stay on that Crocs with the stand firm blodge.
I don't hate Eisenmike's position right now. This is
It's bad if Vasquez gets
well.
powed. It's really bad
Yeah.
if it gets powed.
That's true. That's true.
Because he's got several players that can move up the pitch, and all these Saurus are way forward. They're not going to be able to get back. Only the Crocs and Crow and Pharaoh are in a position to do anything. Okay, so he's setting up the Skinks to do a handoff.
Only one, but that one's protected. But Eisenmike has a chain push right now.
A chain push on... Oh yeah, he does.
I guess it doesn't.
He does. But it's a 1-die. Okay, so he goes for the handoff straight out.
Ooh.
Gets it.
With the reroll, he gets it, but he's not moving anywhere this turn.
No.
And again, that chain push is still there.
Yeah, he...
And if he doesn't move that Saurus, you're going to have a straight tackle Crocs.
Chain push. Yeah, this time he can do the 4+ dodge with auto reroll into the... Oh no, he's in break tackle. He needed to do something about his... You need to remove the tackles on first, but...
Yeah, I still don't hate Mike's position here, because the Saurus on the ground is going to get up and mark people as well. This skink is not perfectly safe. His Hicks is going to start with a 2-die.
Yeah, Drake is just going to stand up, I guess.
Well,
Yeah, Hudson
now.
gets a 2-die on Blancoet, and I mean, you could block this Saurus. Like, the guard here is going to be relatively okay.
See,
I guess
think
you
I'd
could
start
give...
in the bottom right, and then I would try and push them out, or push him over. Just basically, I want to try and get Frost freed up any way I can.
Yeah. You can get a 2-die on the ball carrier with Frost, but you need to do a 1-die with Vasquez, and you'd need a push. And you'd push him there. You wouldn't follow. You'd move Hudson to cancel off. Actually, you don't even need to. Well, you need to move Hudson out of the way, and then Frost comes in and blitzes this blodge sidestep skink. If you're feeling risky and you need to activate the Crocs first, put him on the skink here. The diving tackle skink on the left side, and try to stop that area. You don't want him going left. If he goes left, you effectively lose this game.
I would move Crow around to the left first, yeah. Try and put the Crocs maybe on the corner of those two Saurus and mark them, and also don't give him the angles. Because if he has to go straight left, you're going to have an extra turn.
Okay, so he does the block with Hudson, but that means you can't get the blitz on the ball carrier. Does get someone on the ball. Not Vasquez, but...
He still has a chain to get the Crocs down. And I think I would do that from Hicks in the bottom right.
Yeah.
And then that would free up potentially Vasquez to get into a better position. And also at the same time Frost. He's got to move Crow. I think he's keeping Crow there to try and pick up the ball, and I still think that's super greedy.
Yeah, he's just so focused on, oh, I need to score, I need to score, I need to score. But it's going to be hard for you to steal the ball. I guess you're just going to have to force Jimmy Jam to roll dice. Okay, so Crow does
There's
move.
Crow.
Go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Okay, so he's going to chain push to try and get this.
Oh, I see what he's going to do.
Yep,
He's
yep,
going to
and then-
expose the ball carrier to a Crocs
Yep.
blitz.
Yep. Before he does that, though, he better move those swords that he's got. So he didn't get the knockdown, so Vasquez is still marked, but Frost
Yeah, well,
is free.
I mean, Hicks does the block first. You get the push. You push the Crocs into the ball carrier. The sidestep has to push him there. And now you can start moving Frost. And you're probably going to want to move him to the left because there's just so many stores on the right.
Yeah,
I don't
just
see
get
him going
free.
right at all, even at a moment. Gonna go left.
I would almost put him right where the stores or the Crocs is.
He'll get a 3 die. No. He'll only get a 2 die. Unless the Crocs pushes him up. But he does have sidestep. Yeah, because right now, Lock of Itza is going to be an assist to prevent that 3 die. And you could go from the back, where Crow is canceling out the assist. He's going to go for the blitz. Going for the back for the 3 die does not roll the POW. So that sidestep's going to push him up. And that is not what you want to see. I imagine you see Frost. You're going to see the sidestepper move up. You're not going to see the sidestepper move up. You're going to see the sidestepper stay there. For whatever reason. Okay. Fair enough. Now Frost needs to go in a position. And I think you bring Pharaoh up a little bit closer. I'm not really too concerned about Pharaoh getting blitzed. So he does use break tackle.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, 3+ dodge with break tackle. Basically, he's tied up all the Saurus.
He's trying to make it hard for the dodge out, but because there's so many chain pushes, I don't know that really does that. And if he gets past you...
A chain push, you mean like to get the ball carrier off?
Yeah, I feel like he can... Well, I guess
I
he
don't
doesn't.
see a way
He's all
that
punched
he
up.
can chain
Yeah.
push him off or the Crocs off. I don't see that.
You're right, because it's all...
It's all the other way, yeah.
Yeah. That is a real mess.
Yep. Jimmy Jam's going to have to roll out of this. No re-rolls. And if you fail, you're going to get blitzed by Frost.
That's what I was saying last turn, though, is it's really a good spot for Ice and Mike, the way that this is all just bunched up in the middle.
So I think he has a couple 2 dies that he can do with some source here. Hudson has a 2 die, I'm pretty sure. I mean, has a 2 die on Hudson, which he will take. Doesn't free anyone yet. And following there doesn't really give you a lot, because you're going right into the guard stand firm. Crocs has a 3 die, or you could, I mean, you have this Crow, and you can get a 3 die on him really easily. I imagine we'll see Crow. I don't know where we'd sidestep to, but I think that's the next block we see. Because there really is not anything else. It's just 1 dice. On either block or blodge.
If I'm trying to punch a hole, I would take the source that's right below the one that just acted, and I would actually punch Crow with him, see where the sidestep goes.
Okay, so he tries to
yeah,
punch
that's
Crow,
what it is.
rolls both downs. Fortunately, that source has block.
Maybe you do the same thing with the break tackle. But what I'm
Break
thinking
tackle is one
that-
of the only source that can really like move on a 2+. Though.
I know. Yeah, you don't really want to, but
You can
my-
get a 1
my
die
thought
on
is
the,
that you're
the
trying to go
Crocs.
right.
So like you could
Right
dodge
now-
the source and get a 1 die on the Crocs. Maybe you roll it down 50-50. I mean, you're gonna have to start doing 50-50s at this point. Either you can't free him up because he's in the tackle zone of Hicks. You can try to get, okay, so he goes for the 3 die on Crow, does get him down. And that frees up the Croxagore.
Right.
Goes
See, okay,
there.
so that sidestep gets in the way for what I'm trying to do. I would have gone.
Yeah,
for
now
that
it's 1, 2,
northeast
3,
corner.
4, 5, 6. Oh, he can't push. He needs to get a POW on Apone. Yeah, he'll need a POW on Apone. if he wants to get the down, because where Crow is now. Because from everywhere he blitz, he can't get Apone off his ball carrier. And I just don't see Jimmy Jam even going anywhere. He doesn't have any free players. He'd have to potato.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Frost is in a relatively good position. He's right parallel.
I will say that the only break tackle pieces that Eisenmike has are both on the left
blitz.
side. So if you can
oh no! Gets the both down, turnover. And that puts Jimmy Jam in a terrible position. Absolutely awful. It's a 3-die blitz with Frost on the ball carrier, thanks to Apone standing up.
Barrow's right there to pick it up too.
Yeah, and with where you're going to have to sidestep to a relatively unfavorable position. If he stands Crow up, and then you... Okay, so we're going to see Frost dodge. He's going to sidestep up, I imagine. Burns the reroll, gets the POW. Sidestep up. You sidestep up next to your source. Let's see if Mighty Blow can remove this skink.
You don't
that would be
about rerolling that.
There's only one skink left. KO removes them, so there's only one skink left that can score for Jimmy Jam. Needs to hope that the scatter lands on his source and he catches it. No.
2+ pickup.
2+ pickup, 2+ dodge. But
I would go ahead and mark. Yep.
Mark go ahead and mark. Now you got to be safe. You got to just be. Maybe you even stand up Crow. I think you stand up Crow just to get him on Oatsmatzel and prevent him from dodging up on.
Yeah.
Just have him, force him to do dodges. I think going for the pickup's not a bad thing now. Okay, goes for blocks. They're less likely to fail. Freeze up. It frees up Hudson. So Hudson's going to come around probably to cap the ball.
Oh, I would put him on the break tackle and make him really just immobile at that point.
Okay, yeah, that's what he's going to do. So he's really counting on this pickup to work.
Even if it doesn't, you're in a fine spot, honestly.
Yeah. He's going to have to do a Crocs dodge. Or Oatsmutzel's going to have to dodge in 4+.
It's going to be the skink. The skink's going to be the one that's only able to make any kind of play here.
Yep, I don't think you need to do anything else. If you're Eisenmike, you just go for the pickup.
There it is.
Picks it up. Runs it down. I don't think GFIs help you at all. No reason to do them.
It's got sure feet.
He does have sure feet, but there's no reason to do it. Yeah.
the snake comes. The snake comes, and then you're just.
It doesn't get you out of range, so there's no reason to do it.
It'd be a snake into an injury into a very, very sad Eisenmike.
Yeah, now it does have Hicks could get a 2-die, but I don't think you do it. Because you want that guy in a tackle zone, and if you roll dub skulls, there is a chance that Pharaoh gets blitzed by Odal Garuta, or however you pronounce it. Yep, and wisely chooses not to risk it.
You could tell that took a lot of restraint for him. He wanted to do something there.
So Jimmy Jam has one chance to deny Pharaoh the score, and he just needs to either 1-die with Oatmatzel or rely on it'd be a 6+ dodge, but
I'm not saying if you get into overtime that you should kick the ball, but I am saying that if you do, it's not over.
no. Yeah, Jimmy Jam just played ridiculously. I mean, the fact that it went on his Crocs, and he did not really, he should have tried to get the ball off its Crocs.
Yeah, on that first turn, I would have liked to see the Crocs go further back. I get that you don't want to give up a whole bunch of ground, but it's, a full 8 turns. He didn't have to stay that close to the line of scrimmage and allow
everybody to just crash in on that cage.
Okay, so we're gonna see a mark, and I assume we're gonna see a diving tackle come too.
It's a good position.
Yeah, the diving tackle's just going to dodge out.
He can fail this though. There's a tail.
25% chance. And I don't think it gains him a lot. Okay, he gets the reroll. It doesn't give him a lot. Because Frost is just gonna blitz Oates model off anyway.
You want to blitz the skink.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Frost is gonna Oates model.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about the source. Yeah.
But he one die pows him, so that's probably not gonna happen.
Ooh.
That's definitely not gonna happen. I think we might have to see a 3+ dodge. It's either gonna be a
Crocs can do it. Yeah.
2+. He needs to roll 2+s with the Crocs if he needs to do it then, right? So the Bonehead. But I guess the failing the Bonehead really doesn't put you in a terrible spot. But yeah, that one die pow sucked. If Eisenmike fails his dodge.
I think you try for the blitz with the Crocs onto the skink. Now he's got sidestep, so you have to get the pow. If you don't, then you're still looking at the same diving tackle. But
it is more likely to succeed the 3+ dodge than it is to succeed the 2+ dodge with the Croxagore in this circumstance, because we have no rerolls and you do have the dodge auto reroll. So the difference between 16% and a 16% chance failure and like an 11% chance, it's relatively equivalent. So we'll see if he does do the Apone Blitz. I guess Hudson could
by the way
do
he's
it
been
too.
playing, I would probably. Well, he's marking him. I was gonna say, by the way he's been playing, it wouldn't surprise me to just see Farrell go for it with no
So
added.
1, 2,
help.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'd need to do a GFI, but he has sure feet. Perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm guessing he's just debating whether he wants to do that blitz or not. You could also do a crow dodge, but you'd only get a 1 die. But the crow dodge is slightly more likely.
Yeah, the way that the skink is positioned, I don't really like, because with sidestep, they're going to come at you from that top square, and that's going to basically take you off the ball. Whereas if you had positioned them just one notch higher, you'd been able to stay on that corner and still get your diving tackle.
Yeah, if he had moved, like to the side, then he'd need to have somebody. Yeah, it would have been much more difficult to get the diving tackle off. Yeah.
Because actually, where it is now, he just needs a push. He doesn't even need a knockdown.
Yep. That's why it's tempting. If it was placed differently, then we wouldn't.
And
we would
he
have
had
considered
the
it with
movement
Pharaoh.
for it.
Okay, so we do see the. Yeah,
Oh, no.
the one.
No. Oh, that is too rough.
And with Pharaoh gone, that is going to be quite terrible if he can get this 3-die knockdown. No! Oh, no!
There's the sidestep. Come on.
You
to the side.
sidestep down and left, I assume.
Of course.
Down
He
and
still
left.
has a
Get
blitz
closer.
coming.
Yeah, but
3-die
only the
blitz is
skink can
coming.
really blitz. Unless he can free up another one of his source. He sidesteps away. Okay.
He
fair
really
enough.
can't.
I mean, you could do down and left. I don't know how that helps you. I think moving closer helps you more, but
Yeah, you don't want the GFI. I don't understand that.
he doesn't need a GFI now, but he might need to do like multiple GFIs. Okay, so That source is not going to get free. If he wanted a POW, I assume he was blocking with the one at the top, so that it'd free up the other source and he could try another 3-die with block. But yeah, he's gonna have to do a 2-die with the diving tackle. Kind of an interesting placement with Crow there, though. But I don't think you do the 5+ dodge either. Maybe because he just wants to
Bait him.
I think he doesn't want him to get 3-died.
That's fair.
Because if he moved down, that source could follow, and then it would be a 3-die. Now there's no assists. That would be my guess. So I guess we're going to see the diving tackle blitz.
And then he's going to roll both down, and he's going to take it. And they're both going to get injured. Calling it now.
Yeah, and then there will only be one skink left on the pitch. And it'll be Crow's job to try to get the ball and win the game. And if he goes out, then it's just source ball and then penalty kicks. Okay. So here comes the skink blitz. Does he roll? He does not roll well enough. Yeah, but since he went back, he needs to go back. He either needs to go to the right. Yeah, and then he'd have to dodge through the source tackle zone. If he had gone forward, he wouldn't need to do that, because he would be forward enough that he could just go around. The Crocs can blitz this time, though. Maybe we see a source dodge just to get on that. Well, no, the Crocs has break tackle.
And the Crocs blitz here doesn't actually help as much because now the skink is in the right position. And he's
oh, that big tackle is big, though. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bonehead's big there because that frees up Hudson.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually,
Hudson
that is actually going to make a very significant difference because he can get the chain push on Pharaoh. So what you do is you move your Croxagore to the right of Pharaoh, then blitz up with Hudson, blitz to Lots, whatever, into Pharaoh, use sidestep to go away, and you're off the diving tackle. And you might not even need to do a dodge. That's the play. That should be the play.
That's a good play. That's a good play. I would do that play.
He just needs the Crocs to stand up, but the Crocs isn't doing anything critical other than, well, standing in that space. And then you just need to not 1-9 the block, but you're going to have to it's better than 1-9ing this dodge. So. No! He's Ugh! Yeah, I think Eisenmike it just is not seeing this. It's not. Gonna have to dodge. But that was completely avoidable. Three plus dodge, here we come. 2 GFIs if he dodges back. Which I think that's what you do. You don't dodge through. Because then you might have to use the reroll on the diving tackle dodge. And you don't want to have to dodge again. You know you'll have that sure feet reroll.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But yeah, he should have gone for the chain push on Pharaoh and then push him away from the diving tackle.
This is definitely the most work I've seen diving tackle do on a skink.
And if it works, I mean, it's really Eisenmike could have easily gotten off this diving tackle. But usually in these cases, it won't do anything. It's like, oh, my opponent could have played around it, but didn't. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's just debating whether he wants to do the dodge through or the GFIs, I'm guessing. Whether he wants to move anything or dodge anything, but... I think Eisenmike, I think there's clear fatigue here.
Yeah.
Because Right now, Mike has just been doing these ridiculous risky plays. Rather than actually looking through and thinking, okay, if I want to get off the diving tackle, there's a chain push play I can do here if the croc stands up.
I think now you have to leave Hudson where he is.
Oh, that's game.
There he goes.
Yeah. Diving tackle does nothing. And Mike wins 3-2.
That's a stressful victory. That's
not punished.
That's gonna wear on you for the next round.
Yeah, but I think Mike will be facing. It's either. It's either gonna be. I need to look at the bracket, but yeah, the USS Sulaco got. Yeah, Pale Scale's got more blocks, but USS Sulaco got way more casualties, significantly more.
He's going to be facing the winner of Gloom and Zoom versus Comango Commagers. Or Cornigo Carnagers. There we go. I figured it out.
Yeah. So honestly, the next part of the bracket does not, like, the next match doesn't look as incredibly daunting, I don't think.
Yeah, I had maybe Oracle Work taken that one, but that didn't work.
They didn't make it through.
Looking at the stats for the game, surprisingly, Pale Scales made way more blocks, about 11 more blocks, but got less armor breaks. And I'd say that's probably because Mike was able to successfully focus down the skinks. He also had Tackle Mighty Blow. So that's not too surprising that the armor breaks were there for him. Yeah,
I think Mike, especially towards the end of the game, started playing sloppier and sloppier. I think it was... I don't know if it was avoidable. OOT was avoidable, but he certainly did not help himself with the plays that he attempted.
And Jimmy played pretty well as well. I don't think that there was a whole lot of, plays that he took that were extremely risky. I think, there were some definite moments where the dice dropped catch there and the boneheads, but he still scored on that drive anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that necessarily had big impact for him. I definitely think, the overtime, I think, was where he could really focus on seeing what he could have done differently. For example, maybe bringing the Crocs with the ball further back and trying to hand off on that first turn. And maybe caging up before you do that handoff, but further back off the line. Because he just got, I would say, out chain pushed in that puzzle in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, he was just in such a big mass and he couldn't bash his way out of it.
Yeah, and the skills really went in Mike's favor there. He had an extra guard piece. He
had a lot of blodge too, so they didn't go out.
Yep.
They generally standing up.
Yeah, well, that was a good game. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. So I guess I'm going to cut the stream here. So thanks everyone for watching.
Perfect. Take care.